Hey guys, this is Viper. I know it's been a while since I've done my last video review, and I do apologize for that rushed video that I threw up a few weeks ago. Yeah, it didn't come out the way I really wanted it to, but we'll try that again next year. Anyway, I've had the 12-inch MattyCollector.com Ghostbusters for a while, and I actually was intending to start doing them next, but then I heard about this set that came out, and I figured, you know what, I'd give it a shot. I didn't buy the 6-inch guys from the original movie because I was already getting the 12, so I figured, what the heck, I'll give them a shot. And honestly, I don't think they disappoint too much. I know a lot of people have been kind of complaining that the packaging's a little bland on these guys, but it serves its purpose, and it actually looks pretty cool. One thing I really like about it, though, is unlike a lot of the collectibles you get today where you have to rip the package apart, this one, you just have to slide them out in the plastic tray. You could take them out, and then if you wanted to store them again, you can easily just put them back in. These are also the first run ones, I guess, that have the little, I don't know if you could see them, but they're down there, the little Santa hats. I know that they're supposed to have a non-Santa hatted one coming out after Christmas sometime. So, it's a neat little gimmick. Let's turn around the back here, and we have, of course, the bios of all the guys. And Ghostbusters, we're back! I like that little picture they have from the end of the movie there. And let's see, we have Ray Stans, who is an expert on paranormal history, owns an occult bookstore, designs Ghostbusters equipment with Egon, and his famous quote is, "We think the spirit of a 17th century Moldavian tyrant is alive and well in a painting at a Manhattan Museum of Art." There you go. Bit of a mouthful. Then we have Peter Venkman, who is the host of the psychic-themed talk show, and that's my favorite show, World of the Psychic. He thinks hairless pets are weird, and he needs to feel loved and desired. His famous quote, "We're the best, we're the beautiful, we're the only Ghostbusters." Egon Spengler, he's the strategic right brain of the outfit. He performs advanced theoretical research, and he invented the world-famous Geiger-meter. And his famous quote is, "Ray, we'd like to shoot the monster. Could you move, please?" And then we have Winston Zeddemore. He is an enthusiastic children's party entertainer. He hates gelatin desserts, and he loves New York. And his famous quote is, "It's very potent stuff. We made a toaster dance with it." So overall, I really like what they've done with this. But enough of us yapping, and let's see what they look like. And here we have the 4 Ghostbusters along with our buddy Slimer. Other than the Santa hats, really the only accessory it comes with is, it comes with a trap that came with Egon, and you can open it up like that by just pushing down on the sides. The foot pedal doesn't push down or anything like that, but it's a nice little accessory for them to add in there. Overall, I'm very pleased with the set. I don't have any paint application problems like some of the other ones I saw in the store had. There is one issue that seems to be most prevalent in Peter, Winston, and Egon that I will get to when I get to each respective figure. But for starters, we may as well start from the beginning. I'll start with Ray. Now, in terms of a head sculpt, it's not too bad. I definitely can see Dan Aykroyd in it. Actually, it seems to me that it might be actually a little more accurate than the 12-inch figure, which is kind of sad in a way, but either way, it's pretty good. I like the way they did the paint apps of the uniforms, and of course you have the Ghostbusters 2 logo. The packs are pretty well done, I have to say, for the 6-inch version. They have a lot of wires coming out of them. There's obviously not as much detail as the 12-inch figures, but I'm actually quite impressed. You know, my experience with 6-inch Ghostbusters up until this point has been, you know, the real Ghostbusters stuff where the packs were all purple. But articulation-wise, there's a ball joint for the head. The arms can move up and down here. They move out just from side to side. There's a little bit of there's a click. Let me move this. This joint moves from side to side. The wrist can rotate, and there's a little bit of bend movement here. Not much, but a little bit. There's a little bit of, see if I can get it, there we go. A little bit of waist articulation, but it's a really tight joint. The legs spread a little bit, come up, bend at the knee, rotates right around here. It's really tight. There's a rotation at the shin, I guess, or at the boot, and then the feet rotate like this. And articulation-wise, that's pretty much it. Honestly, overall, I think Ray actually is... I guess the best way to say it is he's the least defected of the group. My personal favorite is probably Venkman, which we'll get to next. But I would say that Ray is the least defected of the group. Now we'll go on to what I actually mean. The first thing I noticed with these figures, and I'm sure you could see this, is the legs on Peter are bent outward pretty badly. This side especially really got pushed out. And it doesn't... I mean, it looks kind of goofy having him standing on the sides of his legs, or on the sides of his feet, rather. But by the same token, you can get a pretty good pose where he's kind of moving, lunging forward into the pose, and it looks pretty good. I have to say, it works. Now, I don't know if that was done on purpose so that you can have a different stance with each figure or what, but either way. The paint apps are pretty much the same for Peter. He's got the Ghostbusters logo. I like the way they've detailed all the zippers with silver. That's pretty nice. Like right in here, on the side here, on the pockets. And once again, same pack detail. Very nice. Very nice utility belt. They did a pretty good job with detailing that. Articulation's pretty much the same. Ball joint for the head. Arms up and down, out. Up and down a little bit here. Rotate a little bit. The wrists rotate. And then the legs come up, bend at the knee, turn at the joint. Up, bend at the knee, joint. I mean, they all have the same articulation, so it works out pretty good. And next up we have our good buddy Slimer. I like the detail on him. He looks pretty good to me, anyway. He looks pretty accurate to the way he looked in the movies. Not too much articulation on him, just shoulder moves, and there's elbow movement. Same on this side. I know they've released Slimer in a couple other packs with the other figures, but I don't have them, so I think it's a really nice addition to have Slimer in there. So, bravo, I suppose. You know what? Let's come back to Winston. We'll do the original three first. The next we'll do Egon. And, pretty much the same. The paint apps are essentially identical to the pack and to the uniform itself, the logo, the belt, and everything else. Head sculpt-wise, I think it looks pretty good. Pretty close to Harold Ramis. This figure also suffers from a little bit of what happened with Peter. As you can see, this leg over here is bent outward this way, down here by the boot, actually. And, there we go. Man, some of these joints are really tight. But, I mean, he doesn't look anywhere near... It's not as pronounced as Peter, because this foot is not that bad. Although this bends just a little bit down here, too. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. He stands very well. All of them stand very stable. But same articulation as before. I'm not going to go through everything again because that's going to get kind of tedious. But really good figure. I like him. And now, last but not least, good old Winston. Now, I think in terms of head sculpt, he's definitely pretty close to Ernie Hudson. And obviously in this movie he doesn't have his mustache, although you can see that the, well, I don't know if you can see here, but you could tell that the mustache is still sculpted on here, but they just didn't paint it. But he also suffers from the same problem, and this foot you could see is very badly bent. And it's a little, in here it's bent inward a little bit. But again, it works. The bigger problem actually is this is extremely loose. And when you stand him, he looks kind of cockeyed. That's really the only way you can get him to stand properly. He pretty much tips over any other way. But articulation is the same. Paint apps, pack's very nice. Utility belt again, very nice. The the accents and the paint jobs on the jumpsuits are really good. I really like the way they did them. But, wait a minute. That's interesting. Yes, I actually do have one of the other 6-inch guys. I just was able to get Winston. And, I don't have the accessories he came with me at the moment. But I have to say, this guy didn't have any bending problems, that's for sure. Pretty much the only difference in the head sculpt, of course, is the mustache on this one to reflect the mustache from the first movie. Yeah, instead of having this yellow pack, he has a pair of gloves wrapped around the belt. The belt is actually one of the things that is definitely different on these guys. These have much more silver highlights, and they're a little bit more detailed, I think, overall. Whereas this belt is white, and the silver doesn't really show up as well on certain things. Like, for example, this right here is the same, but on this one, it looks like it's a little more detailed. Pack-wise, they pretty much have an identical pack. There's really no difference between them. This one actually looks like it's a little more highly sculpted, just slightly. There's a couple little things. Like, this looks like it's a dial of some sort, where this just looks like a round smudge. I mean, just very little things that are different between the two. I'm guessing if I had the other 6-inch original Ghostbusters, they'd probably have similar differences. But I guess that's about it. I would highly recommend trying to pick this up if you could. I think overall they did a very good job on this set. And my personal opinion, I mean, I know I didn't mention this in my review of them, but I think Venkman, probably, of all of them, I think he's got the best head sculpt. He looks pretty close to Bill Murray. And even on the 12-inch figures, I think it's the same. He has the best head sculpt of the group. But I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll probably be doing some more Ghostbuster reviews later on. Take care.